She cheated on a weekend trip. I handed her the moving boxes. Her message arrived at 2:14 a.m. A single bubble lighting up the darkness. Landed, safely. Going to bed. Love you. A simple text. Harmless. Ordinary. Except she wasn't supposed to land. She was supposed to be on a road trip with her friends, just 3 hours away. I stared at the message, not at the words, at the spaces between them. Silence has weight. Tonight, it felt heavier than her lie. The house was too quiet. Even the refrigerator seemed to hold its breath. I read the message again, slowly, carefully, clinically. Landed. My fingers hovered over the screen, but I didn't reply. My mind was already searching, scanning, tracing patterns I had ignored for months. When she left earlier that day, she avoided eye contact. Her hug was rushed, her perfume faint, like she didn't want it to stay on me. She used to kiss me twice before leaving, once on the cheek, once on the neck. Today, nothing. A small death. I didn't panic. I didn't feel anger. Only a click, like a lock turning in my mind. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. I placed the phone face down on the table and stared at the dark window. Her reflection wasn't there anymore, and neither, I realized, was mine. The storm outside hadn't begun yet, but the one inside me already had. The next morning, I acted normally. Normal is a disguise. Normal lets you observe without being observed. I texted her, "Hope you're having fun." She replied instantly, "Miss you already." Miss me? She didn't even touch me the night before she left. The lies were too smooth, too rehearsed, and the cracks began to show. Her friend posted a picture, a group selfie. Everyone smiling on a balcony with beach umbrellas in the background. Except one detail. My wife wasn't in the photo. I zoomed in, checking reflections, shadows, even the window behind them. Nothing. Then I noticed the timestamp, posted at 10:47 p.m. She had texted me at 10:30, saying she was already in bed. The space between those 17 minutes felt like an entire confession. My mind replayed the last few weeks. A new password on her phone, a sudden obsession with privacy, late showers, weekend errands that took too long, a constant, distant glow in her eyes, like she was living somewhere I couldn't follow. I kept remembering how she flinched when I touched her shoulder last week. She used to lean into me. Now she leaned away. People think betrayal comes like a fire. It doesn't. It comes like frost, soft, silent, killing slowly. That morning, I didn't accuse her. I didn't question her. I simply watched the version of her she wanted me to see and the version she thought I'd never notice. One was smiling. The other was somewhere else entirely. Somewhere she didn't want me to be. I began with her travel itinerary. She never showed me one. That wasn't unusual, but now every omission felt deliberate. I checked our shared account. No hotel charges, no fuel receipts. But there was one Uber charge. Airport drop-off. Friday, 5:18 p.m. Airport. Her lie was no longer a theory. It had paperwork. I screenshotted it, saved it to a secure folder. Evidence should never be emotional. It should be cold. Then I checked her laptop, not by breaking in, but by watching. Her iMessages synced automatically. Technology betrays even the best liars. A notification appeared. A name I didn't recognize. Can't wait to hold you again. My heartbeat didn't spike. It slowed, like a predator's. I opened the conversation. Most messages were deleted, but one remained. Same hotel, same room, just like last time. Last time. That meant this weekend wasn't a beginning. It was a continuation. I felt something inside me tighten. Not pain, not anger, but clarity. I didn't respond, didn't confront, didn't scream. People destroy themselves when they react. I wanted her to destroy herself when the truth emerged. So I booked a call with the hotel she didn't stay in. The receptionist confirmed it easily. Yes, she checked in with the guest, a man. Same last name as the messages. I thanked the receptionist politely. Calm, controlled. Then I checked her closet. A small detail, but details matter. The dress she wore when we first met was missing. She used to say it made her feel beautiful. Now she used it to feel beautiful for someone else. I sat on the edge of the bed we shared, and stared at the empty space beside me. Realization didn't come crashing down. It settled quietly, like dust on a forgotten shelf. My wife wasn't mine anymore, and maybe she hadn't been for a long time. She returned Sunday evening, suitcase rolling, fake smile prepared, perfume unfamiliar. I stood in the doorway, blocking nothing but her comfort. "Trip was good?" I asked. She nodded too quickly. Yeah, it was fun. Exhausting." Her eyes darted, left, right, floor, anywhere but me. When she moved to hug me, I stepped back. A small step, quiet, precise. Her confusion cracked her mask. "What's wrong?" I didn't speak. I handed her the printed screenshot. Uber to the airport. Then the hotel receipt. Then the message she forgot to delete. She froze. The air between us shifted, suddenly sharp. Her lips parted, searching for words. "Wait, I can explain." I didn't want her explanation. Explanations are just lies stretched out. I watched her shoulders curl inward, watched her breath hitch. Guilt exposes people in stages. First denial, then panic, then collapse. She moved toward me again, shaking. "It's not what you think, I swear." I looked at her the way a surgeon looks at a tumor, clinically. She realized then. I already knew everything. Her face broke, not because she was sorry, but because she was caught. The truth stood between us now, naked, undeniable, ugly. For the first time, she was the one who looked small, and I felt nothing. Not love, not rage, just a hollow, perfect clarity. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't accuse her of anything. I simply walked to the hallway closet, opened it, and pulled out a stack of folded moving boxes. Cardboard, sharp edges, unmistakable meaning. I placed them gently at her feet. Her breath shattered. You're kicking me out?" I didn't answer. Silence is more violent than shouting. She reached for me, but I stepped back again. Her fingers trembled midair. "Please, we can fix this. I made a mistake." I cut her off with one quiet sentence. "You meant every part of it." She collapsed to her knees, hands over her face, sobbing into the emptiness she created. Her tears echoed in the house she no longer belonged to. She tried bargaining next. "I'll block him, I'll stay, I'll do anything, anything, anything." But not cheating in the first place? I didn't touch her, didn't comfort her, didn't soften. I pointed to the boxes. Calm, precise, final pack. She looked up at me, mascara running, face cracked with regret. You're not even angry." I shook my head slowly. Anger is emotional. Anger gives the betrayer power. I wasn't angry. I was done. She realized in that moment that she had not just lost me, she had lost the version of herself she only existed through, the one reflected in my love. Now she had to see herself without that reflection, and she couldn't bear it. The sound of packing tape echoed through the house that night, a funeral march for a relationship already dead. I sat at the kitchen table, listening to drawers open, close, open again. She was searching for pieces of herself, pieces she couldn't take back. When she came downstairs with the first box, she hesitated. A last attempt, a final hope. Can we talk later, when things calm down? I met her eyes. There is nothing left to calm. She flinched, as if the sentence itself slapped her harder than any hand could. She carried the box outside, then another and another. With each step, her sobs grew quieter. By midnight, the house was empty of her presence. Almost. She returned once more, standing at the doorway, eyes red, voice barely holding itself together. Do you hate me?" I looked at her for a long moment. Hate would mean I still felt something. "No," I finally said. "I just don't know you anymore." Her chin trembled, and then she was gone. The door closed with the softness of a final breath. I sat back down at the table, the silence now clean. Not heavy, not cold, just free. People think closure is loud, but sometimes it's a quiet house at midnight, with no lies left inside it. I exhaled, slow, steady. The storm had passed, and for the first time in a long time, I could finally hear myself think.